Hello, so it is Saturday, September 4th. Ignore any congestion noises. The fact that my nose is really fucking red. Got a bit of a cold situation going on here. But I read quite a few books this past week. Like, actually a decent amount. And I am actually pretty impressed with that. Considering this first full week of school. Was it? No, there was another one. Second full week of school. I don't even know. It's just starting already. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. But first up, I did finish Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which is a Stephen King short story collection. This is only my second time reading this one, and it was fun. It's definitely not my favorite short story collection. That still has to go to like Night Shift or Skeleton Crew. But this one, it is fun, you know, and I did enjoy it. I think my favorites were I liked Dolan's Cadillac a lot, and I liked the one, oh, what was it called? Umney's Last Case. That one was really fun. But overall, I mean, if you want some short stories, this is a solid collection, if not the best one. And if you're a Stephen King completionist, definitely pick it up. But overall, I think I gave it four out of 5 stars. Then I read a book at the library while I was there having shift late at night on Monday night. That is the graphic novel Flamer by Mike Curato. This was phenomenal, honestly. This was probably one of the best graphic novels I've ever read. I loved the art style. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, the only color is like the reds and stuff like that, and I think that's fantastic. But it is about, I think it's very autobiographical, even if it's not a straight up graphic memoir. But it's about this young gay boy going to camp, Boy Scout camp, I believe, and he is trying to he's just about going into high school. He's going from a Catholic middle school to a public high school, and he's scared, and he's trying to figure out how exactly he feels about things, how exactly he feels about himself. And he's also, you know, figuring out that he's gay and he has got a crush on his friend. It's just so well done. It's so beautifully written, so beautifully drawn. Like I said, I loved the color contrast because, like, it is mostly black and white. Like, you know, black and white. Except for any reds or oranges. And I love that a lot. And I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read one of my own books, that is Lake of Fire by Aurora, Dimitre. This is the 3rd book in the Mythology of Hell. The Mythology of Hell is a series. It's going to have 5 books total plus a bunch of spin-offs and novellas, but 5 main books. 4 are out now. It follows, the first book is scary. It follows a group of kids as they accidentally go to hell, and they kind of stumble upon this like gay witch who's trying to take over hell, and everything's just messed up. This is 3 books in, so we're kind of in the thick of the action here. Everybody's in hell. Apocalypse has happened. Shit's going good. But yes, this series is fun. I love the characters. 4 out of 5 stars. It's weird to give my own book 4 out of 5 stars. Sometimes it's just like, I feel like as author, sometimes I feel like I look at things and like I could have done better, and even though it's like you just gotta, at some point you just gotta stop. So that's why. Then I finished another book that I'm teaching. That is The Chocolate War by Robert Cormier. This is a reread. I teach this book to 8th graders. It's like 8th graders. My 8th graders this year, I think, are appreciating it more than the 8th graders. I think the two of the girls who were there last year, 2 of them in particular, especially one of them I wasn't expecting. She is really, really liking it. But I love The Chocolate War. The Chocolate War is a classic young adult novel from the 70s, and it follows this boy, Jay Renault. He goes to this private Catholic high school, and every year they have this grand chocolate sale, and this year Jerry says no. And it is a fantastic book about like conformity and like doing your own thing, and what doing your own thing actually means, and if it's something that you should actually do, and if it's something that anybody's actually doing. And it's just a phenomenal novel. It is one of my favorites, like, of all time, and I love it so much. Then I finished up The Valiant by Lesley Livingston. This is a young adult novel following a Celtic princess as she gets captured and sold as a slave to become a gladiatrix in Caesar's Rome. And it was fun. I did enjoy it quite a bit. I thought it was interesting. I thought that there was a good concept there. And there was this huge, like, very insta-lovey kind of romance. And I mean, it was cute, and I did come around to liking it, but there was, like, so much was there for her to go to, like, have, like, a more sapphic relationship with some of the girls at the school, and I'm just like, you could have gone that route, and it could have been like not obvious. But yeah, like every twist in this book was kind of predictable. It was very kind of typical young adult, not really even fantasy. It's kind of a, weird historical fiction. I guess it's technically historical fiction. I shouldn't say it's not historical fiction, because if this was an adult novel, we'd be calling it historical fiction. It's historical fiction. There are no fantastical elements to it. It's just straight up Rome. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite. Maybe if I wasn't so, I don't even know. But I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It's still a good one, and if you're interested in the subject, I would suggest picking it up. But yes, then I read another book, Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, for my 7th graders. 7th grade read The Outsiders first. And I think these 7th graders they are always just shocked by how good the book is, and I agree. I think The Outsiders is a great book. Outsiders, if for some reason you didn't have to read it in 7th grade, is about it's about a group of like juvenile delinquents in the 60s, and one of them accidentally kills a dude and they have to go on the, it's just, there's a lot. It's a very character focused book. It's a good book. I enjoy it. It's a good book. A good one to teach 7th graders. Then I read The Book Whisperer by Donalyn. It is a nonfiction book about teaching children to love reading again. And the interesting thing here was, so I asked my juniors and seniors, so when did you guys start not liking to read? And a good majority of them said 6th grade. Like, that was like the overwhelming, I wasn't expecting it to be like so like across the board 6th grade. And that's something that I'm seeing, is that, so the 4th grade teacher in the school I teach at, it's K through 12 small school, the 4th grade teacher is my mother, and she practically lives by this book. And so her first class was this year's 8th graders. And so, I mean, I've seen with them and with the incoming 7th graders, and also vaguely with the 9th graders. 9th graders are just good academically anyway, and they enjoy reading. That they're so much more open to reading and stuff like that than any of the older kids are. And I think that 6th grade teacher did just retire, so I'm hoping that this new 6th grade teacher doesn't like fuck them up as badly as that other lady did. But yeah, this was really good, and this was really inspiring too, as a high school teacher, and trying to get these people to like reading again. Like I did. There's some, not all of them hate reading. There's some of them who do enjoy reading. There's some who carry books around. There's some who say, I like reading, but I just don't do it. But I enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5. I got another 3 out of 5. I read The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. This is a apocalyptic sort of horror, sort of thriller, sort of novel. Basically, this little girl and her 2 dads are at this remote cabin, and a bunch of people come up and they say, bad news, the world's gonna end. Good news, you can. Interesting novel. It's very straightforward, actually. Like, it just kind of goes from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E, etc. It wasn't that engaging, I guess. Like, I read it fairly quickly, but it's only like 300 pages long, and it's pretty easy to get through, and I'm not really sure, I don't know. I didn't connect very much with it. It was okay, but I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Then, currently, that's it. That's all I read. Currently, I'm reading Portnoy's Complaint by Philip Roth. I am like 150 pages in, and it is disgusting. So, these are the books I read this past week. That is all I have for today. I will talk to you later.